Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Entertainment Dome Quick Look. Sort of, I guess. I'm the only one that's available at the moment. This is, of course, Michael Becker speaking. For reasons I'm not going to bore you with, James wasn't available to record the game with me, so I am going to be doing this solo. Apologies in advance if you're a big James fan. But I may as well just cut straight to the chase. I'm going to be playing Octahedron today. Now, what is Octahedron, you might be wondering? Well, sit down and I shall tell you a tale. Octahedron is, if I just get the webpage up here, is a new game from the people at Square Enix. It's, as it's described here, a precision vertical action game about creating your own platforms. Ascend and escape strange subterranean world Vitragul and experience an otherworldly psychedelic adventure. To conquer and master each of the handcrafted levels, you must get into the flow of the pumping atmospheric soundtrack as enemies and traps move along with the rhythm. It's essentially a combination of platformer and rhythm action game, and I'm a big fan of both, especially rhythm action games. I'm a huge fan of the stuff like Theat Rhythm Final Fantasy and the Persona dancing games. So seeing that combined with platforming is really piques my interest, and I was lucky enough to receive a code for this game, courtesy of Amy Graves, the community manager at Square Enix EU. So massive shout out, Ms. Graves, I really appreciate this. I'll probably be repeating that later on. This is essentially going to be a blind run. I've not touched the game before. I haven't seen much footage of it either, barring the few bits of trailer footage that I saw, actually. So I'm just going to cut straight to it. And I apologise in advance, of course, if I don't do a particularly good job. It's going to be particularly tricky to comment over this live, considering obviously I'm going to need to rely on listening to the music. So bear with me. I don't promise top tier skill levels. Oh, I'm actually in control now. Sorry if I was a bit quiet there for a second. I wanted to let the opening play out for itself, and I'm not even sure what I just watched. And oh, okay. Whoa, okay. Right, the game started. Okay. Just let me get my bearings real quick. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that opening was. That was some Slenderman rave party stuff, and now I'm this guy. And what happened there was I pressed square, and it created a platform. Oh, that's interesting. So I can jump anywhere, create a platform with square, but it doesn't stay there for very long. I was reading on the webpage actually that there are no tutorials here. The game kind of just leaves you to your own devices. So, oh, there we go. There's some controls there as well. So I guess if you're stuck for too long and you don't know what's going on, the controls do eventually appear. That's nice. Not too intrusive. Just let you figure it out for yourself, and if you're really struggling, the game does eventually take mercy on you and says, yeah, okay, we're going to tell you what to do. Oh, okay, right. Okay, press and hold square. Ah, okay, so you can make the platform move. Oh. Gotta realise that your basic jump isn't... you can't do much of it. You need to get used to using the platforms. And hitting these light bulbs here seems to create those little things up there. Are they collectibles? Let's find out. They seem to be. And the jump is good enough that you can... do some basic platforming there. I'd imagine, obviously, we're still in tutorial mode here, so it's going to get trickier from here on out. And I guess that's it. That's the tutorial. And here we go. Some good old school world map. So let's do the first world. I'll admit, I do like the aesthetics here. You know, it's a bit dark, and I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit hard to see on my TV, but that's just me, not the fault of the game, obviously. But I like the fact that the whole screen's in darkness, but where your character moves, you've got, like, you know, this rainbow color going around, and design's pretty cool as well. Like, I know it's just like you know, basic character stuff, but I don't know. I love the fact that it's like just normal human, but then he's got like this the Sims logo for a head. I'm not sure what the collectibles are for at the moment. Maybe this gives you a better score or something. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell from the way I'm playing, but you can't have two platforms on screen at the same time. So you need to time it just right. Oh no! Oh no! Ah! Isn't that always the way? Though I think collecting those extra arrows allows you to create extra platforms, I'm guessing. Yeah, so you see that time I was able to do a few more in succession. Yes, I can now do up to 2, so I'm guessing that collecting the arrows gives you more opportunities to... Is that an enemy? Oh, yeah, that's an enemy. Oh, okay, that was an enemy too. Was not paying attention there. I feel like there's a lot happening on screen sometimes, and I'm not entirely sure what some of this stuff is doing. Okay, I've just now noticed. And I'm dead. Oh, checkpointed me there. Thank you very much, game. But you do have lives. There are lives, so die too many times, and you will probably get sent back to the beginning of the level. Oh, but there's that light bulb there's got a heart in it, so I'm guessing... Oh, okay. So that's what those things do, is that if you go next to it, it sends you around to the other side. Okay. I was about to say that it's... I do understand, like, you know, a lot of gamers nowadays hate the whole hand-holding thing that some other games have. So I'm sure on some level it's appreciated that... Oh, I'm trying to get to that thing up there, but it's not... Oh, there we go. But at the same time, it almost feels like some elements of this are a bit too vague. Like, I'm not entirely sure what's going on half the time, at least earlier. I'm now beginning to get a better grasp, because I don't know if you can see at the left-hand side, you see the two little rectangles there? That's showing how many platforms I can have at once. So now I can get up to 2. I'm not sure how I unlocked that ability. I'm assuming from collecting the triangle things? Or maybe that's just like another collectible, because I can see they're making a shape. Could they be making an octahedron? Gotta remember that I can hold down the square button so I can move the platform along. Like, that's... I can tell that's gonna save my ass in some later levels. I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to play just yet. I'll probably play either, like, until I've got an hour's worth of footage, or maybe just the first world. Ah, see, so, I was missing a triangle there, so I didn't complete it all. But, what is that? Part any percent. Is this like an achievement system of some kind? I'm assuming so. This is obviously meant to be like your statistics for the completed level. But I'm not entirely sure what any of it means. It's all... I'm so confused. But obviously I can now go on to the next world. I'm actually just going to quickly check the official site real quick. See if it can clean up some of my confusion. No, it doesn't seem to. But I'll tell you what, let's just carry on with the game and see what the next level has to offer. You can only learn through playing. And I've just noticed that the extra platform stuff isn't confined to a single level. I've carried it over to the next one. So does that mean that that's a permanent upgrade? Do I lose it in if I get a game over or something? Okay, so so you fill the bars up and they become platforms. Interesting. So yeah, now they're a platform, but then they run out as I jump on them. Okay, so I don't need to touch them with my platform bar. It's just that once I move over, that's when they take form. Okay, this is making a little bit more sense now. Oh, okay, that's a teleport thing. Ah, where am I? Okay, I'll give the game this. I know I just complained a bit earlier about how vague it is, but so far I've not got into a scenario where I straight up have no clue what I'm doing. Oh, no. Gotta remember, my jump's not as good as I think it is. Won't lie, once you get like into a good flow, it feels very satisfying. And now I can collect this yellow triangle thing. I think I'm beginning to get the pace of it now. I think like my talking is what's distracting me and getting me hit by blatant enemy placement. Whoa. I don't know what that is, but it looks scary. Oh! Yeah, it speeds up when I'm on the ground. Interesting. Oh no, that was my fault. Just keep going, keep going. So it seems like hearts are pretty scarce, so you can't just expect the game to take pity on you and give you a bunch of hearts. You gotta really be careful. Though so far it seems like, in terms of checkpoints, it's all seems to be quite fair when it comes to giving you checkpoints and stuff like that. I will say, I know I commented earlier already, but as dark as this game is, the use of colour does really pop, and it is quite pretty to look at. Really does feel like you're in some major retro party or something, and this is what I get for not paying attention. Ah, see, yeah, I was just saying the checkpoints seem pretty generous. Drops me all the way over there. Also appreciate the fact that these platforms, it's not like on a timer thing, it's based on movement, so you can take a breathe if you need to. You don't have to worry about it instantly fading away or something like that. It's all about timing. Which makes sense, because both platformers and rhythm games are so dependent on your timing. Honestly, it's a kind of genre I wish games did more of. That being said, though, when it's clear that your platforming isn't based on the rhythm, you're not doing it in time to a beat or anything like that. What's going on here is that I'd imagine if I could hear the music better, because obviously I've got headphones in order to do recording my voiceover, but I'd imagine it would probably help a lot. This is not the kind of game that you're supposed to just really do blind like this, where you go in talking. Anyway, that's enough putzing about. Let's finish this level. Oh wow, I'm missing a few more triangles there. I'm not entirely sure what these all mean though, this stats screen. I'm gonna be honest, this is this does feel a bit too vague. I'm sure there's probably a screen somewhere that would explain what it all means. Did you just see that? As I beat the level, those little blocks went up into that level up there. So I'd imagine that by completing the levels, you do get points, and you need to have a certain number of points or whatever in order to unlock that final level, which I'm assuming is a boss level or something. In fact... Oh, this is interesting. So if you go into the settings, you can obviously adjust the lighting and probably to make the game a bit more easier for you, or just to... And there's of course a screen there. Let's see, what's that? 100% part, 80%. Oh, okay, so what that's telling me is that it rewards you on how you clear the level. So if you got 100%, you get as such. If you just beat the level... What does that mean, par? Is that a time limit thing? I wonder if that's a time limit thing. I'm just going to go back to the title screen real quick and see if there's anything that explains it. So you can customize controls, so if you don't like having to press square in order to create the next platform. Oh, I know, on previous platforms. I'd imagine that's something that I can be dealing with in a later level. So I can switch between the platforms by pressing L1 and R1, but at the moment I only have 2 platforms available to me, so I don't know if that's something I really need at this point in time. So let's just carry on as always. Obviously avoid these. Let's get that down there. I'm going to try and stay quiet for a bit so I can listen to the music a bit more, see if that helps me. Oh, see, this is what happens! The moment I start talking, I get hit. This music for this level here is sounding very Daft Punk, and okay, I think I figured out what I've got to do there. Ah! I'd imagine because I've noticed that the triangles, when I go to collect them, they hover in place for a bit before I collect them, and I wonder if what that means is you need to collect it but then not get hit whilst you're holding it, otherwise you'll lose the triangle. Which makes sense. Just gives it a little bit of extra challenge there, and obviously move that platform there so I can get onto there. Oh, but now I'm stuck. Yeah, move that out of the way. Missed the heart down there, but oh well, I'm sure I can manage. Did I mention that the music feels very Daft Punk? Because if I haven't, I'm just gonna, and if I have, I'm just gonna repeat it. Whoa! Gonna wait for these enemies to pass. I wonder if there's like a timer that I'm not seeing that because this is one of those games where I feel like speedrunners would lap this up, like trying to get through the level as quickly as possible. Okay, I just realised that ain't stopping anytime soon, so I put that over there. Aha! Wait, no! Oh! That back. Oh. Gotta be careful. Oh, there's a purple triangle down there that I missed. Oh well. Only meant to show off some of the game. There is a nice puzzle element to this all as well, so like I had to move that that platform down there in order to change where the enemies were going. See, what does Deus mean? Is that just a basic thing for completing the level, or does it mean something else entirely? Like, I'm all for, like, you know, not being all hand-holdy, letting players figure stuff out for themselves, but I feel like when it comes to stuff like the score screen, a bit more clarity would be appreciated. Ah, here we go. Classic appearing and disappearing platforms. Oh, what does that mean? Ah, okay, so it's not like based on a timer, it's based on a you pressing... Ah, what the... Ah, the platform blocks it! Oh, rude, I was in the middle of figuring the game out! Yeah, if you think I'm being a bit too harsh on the game for being too vague, I will again reiterate, I do appreciate how you figure out the puzzles for this. Like, you're given like a very basic starting point, and just by playing it, you figure it out for yourself. So I press that, and the platform goes. I press it again, it comes back. And so now I can jump on top. Gotta say, the colour is very satisfying to just look at. It's so pretty. Do I bother? Oh. I'm just aiming to show off a bit of the game. I'm not gonna prioritise too much on doing 100% and stuff like that. Hang on, I need that. There we go. Gotta say, I'm not doing too badly. I've only lost 1 life so far, I believe. Oh! Because I got the platform back whilst in front of the platform, that counted as a hit. Oh, now I'm all the way back here. Curses. Oh no! Oh, I'm all the way back here. Okay, so checkpoint's all the way back there. That's so annoying. Gotta figure this out again. So your platforms don't regenerate until after you hit the ground. There we go. Does take a little bit of getting used to, but hey, that's part of the course of a video game. At least there's no fall damage. Can you imagine? Oh, okay, that was my mistake. So it seems to me that if you get hit by like you know, one of those kind of obstacles, you lose a heart, but like you get sent back to a relatively, you know, fair checkpoint. It's if you lose all your hearts though that the game's like, no, you're going back to the start. Right, let's try this again. Ah! Right, I'm gonna stay quiet for a bit because I gotta concentrate. Okay, that was just poor timing on my part. Ah! Oh wow! Okay. Game takes no prisoners. Oh. Well, that was embarrassing. Oh. No, just go back down. Yeah, your timing's gotta be, I think we're getting to the point now where the game's being less, forgiving when it comes to your timing. Oh, but the hearts regenerate. Interesting. Oh, but I can't pick it up because I've got full health. Yeah, let's go this way. I feel like this might be a little bit easier. Ah, but I can't... Yeah, can't teleport that way. You want that extra green triangle, you gotta go the tricky way. That's fine. I'm assuming that was a checkpoint now, so hopefully if I lose all my hearts again, I'm not gonna get sent... Oh, if I won't get sent back to the beginning, and ah! Oh god, I'm losing my mind! Oh, okay, that was my fault. was just not thinking properly. I was like, ah, it won't hurt me. Oh! No, wait for it. There we go. Oh, did not see the enemy there. But thank God, yeah, I was right. So the game took mercy. Whoa, God, that was... Oh! See, I'm panicking now, and that's what happens. The moment you start panicking, you lose your sense of rhythm, and it all just goes out the window. Oh! Thank God, because you can see those purple, the glowing parts of the rotating block. Even though they're touching my head, they're not doing damage. So it's weird. This game is unforgiving in many ways, but also pretty forgiving in others, which I think is a good balance. It's important to get that balance because it's too easy to make a game incredibly difficult and at the same time not just feel fun to play. I mean, to be fair, we are still only on the first set of worlds, so I'd imagine they probably get, I don't know, probably pretty damn tricky towards the end of the game. And you gotta remember, you can't be in front of the blocks as they activate, because then they'll kill you. Oh, okay. Just pointing out, this screen right here is making me sweat a bit. I'm not even going to attempt to get that purple triangle up there. So far, though, this does feel like the kind of game where you can play it casually if you want to. Like, if you're not concerned about going for 100%, you just want a fun game to play to help pass the time and stuff like that, you can easily do that. But if you do want like a really good challenge, something that will put your skills to the very test, then this game looks like it'd be right up your alley. Tell you what, let's get to the end of this world, see what's at the end of it, and then I think we'll call it here. I'm going to stay quiet for a bit because this music sounds pretty good. Oh no! That's what I get for not paying attention! Oh! Yeah, I'm just going to stay quiet for a bit and let you guys just enjoy my terrible gameplay and the music. Oof. See, I knew what I had to do there and I still messed it up. Aha, nice try. There we go, got there in the end. Oh, how was I supposed to get that? Oh well. Ah! Bah! Would have been nice if there was a way to actually attack enemies, but I suppose that's not really the purpose of the game. Plus, it makes you whoa! Oh, I played it unsafe there. But as I was saying, if you had a way to defend yourself from enemies, I feel like the game would lose a bit of its challenge and threat, if that's the correct term for it. Whoa. Oh! I should point out, you can't make a platform spawn while you're standing on the ground, so you can't, like, because what I've been trying to do is just to waste a platform to make those, teleporting blocks appear and disappear, but yeah, I have to jump first, otherwise it just won't appear. I also appreciate how some of these platforms, you can jump through them from the bottom. So you don't have to awkwardly wiggle yourself around it. Oh god, where am I going? It's actually something I should actually praise the game for, is that for as flashy as it is, it's not disorientating. I mean, that might be different from some other people. Like, I can imagine, you know, depending on one's suitabilities, if that's the correct term, it might be a bit, might overload your senses a bit. But for me personally, I don't feel like constantly distracted by how flashy the game has been getting. Which I think, considering this the kind of game this is, that helps immensely. Oh. Aha! I figured it out! Whoa! Gotta be careful there, because that's going to raise up into there. So. Yeah, so those platforms that go into the little transporter thingies do stay for a bit. That's cool. There's some good puzzle potential there. I can imagine that making up for some very tricky levels later on. Like, I'm already having a bit of trouble with these early ones. I can't imagine what, like, endgame must be like. Okay, I think I've got an idea what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, did it too early. I think I destroyed the platform. Bear with me. Ah! Didn't see that one at the very end. And that's the level. And I've got enough for that, but I still need to beat level 1-6. Okay, so this isn't like New Super Mario Brothers where you can just beat one of the levels and still get to the final bit. You do have to play through both. Even if you manage to get enough of the collectible things to get to the end. And that's interesting. I can now create up to 5 platforms. I imagine that means that this level's going to be very tricky. Whoa, what is that? What are those? Oh god, get away! Yeah, I'd imagine that now that the game's letting me create up to five platforms, this is going to be a particularly tricky one. Oh. Oh, yeah, I thought as much. That is a spotlight. Do not let that see you. Woo! Oh, okay, cool. So it can't go through blocks. That's something at least. Oh! Oh, that counted! Nice! See what I mean? The game can be very generous when it wants to be. Oh, but do I need to get the green triangle again? Ah, forget it. Like I said, not going for 100% here. On the plus side, having more platforms at least means you can be a bit more liberal. And it is very satisfying to, you know, get a chain of platforms going. Ah! Oh! Ooh! It went over my head. That was so close. No, I can't go for that. You can see the arrows right there. God bless, no fall damage. So yeah, I was wrong earlier when I said if I was wondering if the additional platforms were like a permanent upgrade or something. They're not. The amount of platforms you can create obviously changes depending on what level it is. And oh no! Oh, did I... Okay, somehow I still got to the end. So imagine you're probably rewarded for not getting hit and not dying as well. That probably means something. But yeah, I've collected enough collectible thingies so I can now get to the final level. And I think after this we'll call it. Don't want to keep you guys here forever. Is this an actual boss fight? Whoa. Oh, so this is what it means. I can now create different kinds of platforms. Oh, that's pretty interesting, actually. So it's not just, you know, basic stuff. So this platform, for example, as you can see here, is shooting like a projectile down. So, and it goes through that, which means it opens up the door here. Okay, so it's not a boss fight, but it's an upgrade. So obviously with that you can go back to previous levels and play them differently. Okay, I'll tell you what, I think we're going to do one more level so I can see what I can do with this new upgrade. So let's have a look-see here. Sorry for the pause there, I just took one look at this screen and got scared. Let's switch to basic platforms now. Ah, so that destroys enemies. Isn't it nice when you make a comment about a game saying like, oh man, I wish the game had this feature, and then it turns out, oh, it does have this feature. I mean, I don't want to sound as if like I wasn't enjoying the game before, but I was. But this new upgrade is kind of making me want to play more, not gonna lie. That's always a good sign when you get a new upgrade in a game or something, and it's something that makes you go, oh, I've got to keep playing now, because you want to find excuses to use it. Oh, but oh god, be careful there, because as you can see, it destroys a bit of the floor there, so I could have fallen into that and been destroyed. Can't seem to get through there though. What am I doing wrong? Ah, there's a gate over there. Okay. Be right back, guys. It's a good thing that the projectile only lasts, you know, once. Like it does it the one time, and then like it becomes an ordinary platform afterwards. Because otherwise, you keep destroying like, you know, the floor below you, and you probably bugger yourself out of being able to get back up or not fall into the pit. Whee! Oh! Oh, I thought I hurt myself there. No, just stop by a wall, or a ceiling, I should say. Then again, aren't ceilings just walls that are above us? Michael Beckwith, asking the most important questions of the century. Oh, okay, why did I think that was anything good? I am a dum-dum. Oh, it is. It is. I was just wondering, but it is possible to switch which platform to use whilst on the move as well. That's handy. Oh, that could make for some real tricky puzzles later on. Oh, the moment I start talking, I just stop paying attention. I am not going the right way. Oh, I bet I need to go back down. Ah! You know, that would have been so easy for them to put, like, you know, a hazardous ceiling there. So you take a hit if you're not paying attention. That would have been so easy for them to do. I appreciate that they did not do that. God bless you, Square Enix. Or, well, actually, Square Enix is the publisher. In fact, I should really note who actually developed this game. Demimon Studios, the one-man game development studio behind Octahedron. So, oh, this is one of those, only one guy made it. Oh, that's always so impressive. The studio's creator Marco, also known as Monomira, is solely responsible for nearly all aspects of the game, including design, programming, and art. Well, Mr. Monomira, I don't know if you're going to be listening to this, but kudos. You know, I always appreciate, or at least respect, developers that are able to build these kind of games single-handedly. Because, you know, it's not just about programming, it's all about, you know, art design and stuff like that. And hopefully you pay more attention to your work than I do when I'm actually playing your game. Whoa, what did I just do there? Oh! So it's like, you know, behind the curtain sort of thing, where it looks like there's nothing there, but if you go towards it, there is something there. I know I said earlier, I'm glad that the projectile platform doesn't constantly shoot, but they need to remember that it doesn't do that. Because you can't just, like, get on the platform and then scroll over enemies. That's not going to save you. Ah! Right, where do I go from here? Do appreciate it. You know I said earlier that there's probably an invisible timer somewhere to judge you on your time. Duh. But I'm glad that if there is one, I'm glad it is invisible. Because I feel like if I had a timer there, I'd just be stressing out every time I came to a standstill just to plan out my next move. So let's see. Do I bother going? No, I'm not going to bother. I'm wasting you guys enough time already. Because I can't. The platform doesn't shoot below me. I mean, it does shoot below me. It doesn't shoot above me. Get your words right, Michael. Oof. It's funny how, like, these enemies don't have any, like, particularly, you know, scary designs or anything. It's just a bunch of circles and squares, but, like, they make a movement and it's just like, oh, it's like the most terrifying thing ever. Nemesis from Resident Evil's got nothing on that. Nope, doing that wrong. What am I doing wrong here? Aha! That doesn't. So it doesn't destroy it, but it does make it slow down for a bit. Whoa! Oh god! Well, if anything, that's more annoying than anything because it stops you from destroying bits of the wall, and I'm getting hurt. Oh god, I'm panicking. Oh, thank god, there's nothing there. And now that opens that up, so now I can go back up. Ah! Ugh. that was very risky there. And that's it. Sorry, still can't wrap my head around what that stats screen means. You know what, there's probably somebody out there who's like, you know, it's really obvious, right? And they'd spell it out for me, and I'd be like, no, that's what it means. But you know what? I think we're going to call it there. Played the whole of the first world and a bit of the second one. Got almost an hour's worth of footage, and I think this video pretty much sums up what to expect from Octahedron. And I'm going to say, really enjoying it. You know, It's not exactly what I expected it to be. I was expecting a bit more like actually having to time your movements with the rhythm perfectly. But the rhythm's more there, not just for some funky, fresh beats, but in more response to the enemies and stuff. And obviously, me talking over the game like a dumbass did not help my gameplay in the slightest. You notice the moment I stopped talking and actually paying attention, I was able to do better. But anyway, that is Octahedron. Once again, a massive thank you to Amy Graves for giving me a code for the PS4 version. I cannot thank you enough. I just, it makes me feel special, is what I'm trying to say. And I hope I did the game justice. If you're put off by my bad gameplay, don't be. The game, even though I've talked about how it's a little bit vague in some areas, it's very easy to get to grips with. It's a bit of a cliche to say this, but Octahedron is a game that's easy to pick up, difficult to master, and I'd imagine that the game would only improve in challenge as it goes on. But at the same time, it's not so challenging where I feel like it would put off anyone who's not particularly experienced with 2D platformers. I don't know if I'd recommend this as somebody's first 2D platformer, but if you like what you see, I would highly recommend picking the game up if you're fond of, the very simplistic but engaging art style, and the fun beats. I think music goes a long way in helping you appreciate the game and enjoy it as well. If you're interested in getting it, it's not only available for the PS4, but also Xbox One and Steam, I believe. No Switch version. Come on, guys. But no. And, yeah, that's all I had to say about it. So, wow, I am really bad at signing off. If only James was here. James, come back. Anyway, gonna sign off now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you'll get to see more of this kind of stuff, and hopefully James will be able to join us along for the ride. This is Michael Beckwith saying goodbye. Goodbye.